Tiny Habits by B.J. Fogg. This summary is brought to you by Hook My Book. The behavior model described in this book is based on the idea that habits are created by small, consistent actions over time. The book describes how to break down large goals into smaller, more manageable behaviors, and how to have fun while doing so. Tiny habits are powerful because they are small and easy to do. When we make small changes, we are more likely to stick with them. The tiny habit system is based on how human psychology really works and doesn't require willpower, accountability measures, or promises of rewards. The essence of tiny habits is this: take a behavior you want, make it tiny, find where it fits naturally in your life, and nurture its growth. If you want to create long-term change, it's best to start small. The author suggests that if we want to change our habits, we need to start small. Tiny allows you to get real with yourself and your life. Tiny allows you to start right now. The author suggests the Maui Habit, which is saying the phrase, "It's going to be a great day," before getting out of bed. Successful people have found that the only consistent, sustainable way to grow is to start small. One way successful people have found to start small is to focus on one task at a time. This way, you can gain momentum to tackle bigger challenges and faster progress. One tiny action, one small bite, might feel insignificant at first, but it allows you to gain the momentum you need to ramp up to bigger challenges and faster progress. The next thing you know, you've eaten the whole whale. Keeping changes small and expectations low is how you design around fair-weather friends like motivation and willpower. When something is tiny, it's easy to do, which means you don't need to rely on the unreliable nature of motivation. With tiny habits, you also learn how to feel good in your life. The ability to pat yourself on the back instead of beating yourself up grows solid, life-changing roots. Fogg Behavior Model. The Fogg Behavior Model is a way of understanding why people do the things they do. It includes three elements: motivation, ability, and prompt. These three elements come together to create a behavior. Motivation is your desire to do the behavior. Ability is your capacity to do the behavior. And prompt is your cue to do the behavior. In 2010, when the earth shook and Janet Jackson's "All For You" came on the radio, people became emotional and decided to respond to the text message of the Red Cross to donate. The text message prompt was easy to respond to, and the ability was easy to do because the Red Cross had already reached out to people. The motivation was high since the earthquake in Haiti was a devastating disaster. The prompt was also easy to work with. The campaign took place through text messages. The campaign was very successful, raising more than $3 million in the first 24 hours and more than $21 million by the end of the week. Motivation is unreliable. Motivation is a force that can help you to change your behavior, but it is not always reliable. The motivation monkey's traps are stealthy and numerous, and they can catch you whether you are trying to change your habits or not. You have to understand the role of motivation and its limitations to avoid the traps of the motivation monkey. A lot of things in our lives are capable of boosting our motivation and helping us to succeed, but they only last for a short while. High levels of motivation can be great for doing really hard things once, but if we don't sustain it, our motivation will eventually drop. People's motivations change on a day-to-day, minute-to-minute basis, and retailers know this and adjust their sales accordingly. There are also some more subtle, predictable motivational shifts that happen throughout the day. For example, willpower decreases from morning to evening, complex decisions get harder by late in the day, and motivation for self-improvement can vanish on Friday nights. However, some motivational waves are unpredictable. Example, the same teenager who bugged you for a week to let her go to the Ariana Grande concert will declare the day before the show that she does not want to go anymore. Behavior Model. The behavior model is a model that helps us understand how to make a behavior easy to do. The model looks at two things: motivation and ability. Motivation is unreliable, meaning that it is difficult to keep a behavior going for long periods. However, the ability is not unreliable. If behavior is easy to do, then motivation will be high and ability will be low, which will push the behavior closer to the action line. However, if a behavior is hard to do, then the ability will be high and motivation will be low, which will push the behavior closer to the motivation wave. The tiny habits method is a way of making a behavior easy to do. By making the behavior so tiny that motivation is not necessary, we are more likely to keep the behavior as a habit. Steps in behavior design. Step 1. Get clear on your aspirations. Aspiration is something you want or aspire to do, like wanting to get good grades or lose weight. An outcome is something you achieve, like getting straight A's or losing weight. Behavior is when you do something, like turning off your phone or eating a carrot. Behavior design is the process of designing effective ways to achieve desired outcomes. The first step is to get clear on what you want, and then you can design effective ways to achieve it. For example, if you want to lose weight, you might think about what you want to lose weight for. Maybe you want to lose weight because you want to look better in clothes, or to control your diabetes, or reduce stress in your life. Once you know what you want, you can revise your aspiration or outcome to reflect what is really important to you. Step 2. Explore behavior options. The swarm of behaviors is a tool that allows you to list multiple behaviors that can help you achieve your chosen aspiration. You can explore your options by writing down behaviors, and then tapping into your creativity by asking friends for ideas. Once you've explored your options, you will move on to the next step of the behavior design process, which is getting analytical and practical. Incorrect ways to approach change often involve making large leaps in behavior without any research or planning. The advice of a friend or family member can be risky because the behavior may not work for the individual. Behavior design involves using systematic criteria to choose which behaviors to try out, which is a better way to approach change. Step 3. Match with specific behaviors. Behavior matching is the most important step in behavior design. It helps you find the right behaviors to change your life for the better. Behavior matching can be done using focus mapping. The power of simplicity. What's the difference between Yahoo and Google? Between Blogger and Twitter? Why does one innovation fade and another take over the world? Talent? Vision? Money? Luck? All of those things and plenty more. But the biggest one is perhaps the most overlooked. Simplicity. Instagram, a free app, was successful because it was easy as pie, and its competitors, Facebook and Flickr, offered full-feature experiences. Facebook bought Instagram for $1 billion in 2010, which was mocked at the time, but Instagram is now estimated to be worth more than $100 billion. This refers that people often trying to make big changes but fail because they are lionized or push themselves beyond their physical, emotional, or mental capabilities. Motivation monkey loves to help us make big moves, then slips away from us when the going gets tough. And doing big things can be painful. The result is that people become overwhelmed and find themselves without a way to correct their course when they get caught in bursts and busts of motivation because their ebbing motivation wave leaves them high and dry. Step 4. Start tiny. Imagine a big plant with small roots. When a powerful wind kicks up, the big plant might topple over because it's not held firmly in place. And that's how habit formation works. If you start with a big behavior that's hard to do, the design is unstable. It's like a large plant with shallow roots. When a storm comes into your life, your big habit is at risk. However, a habit that is easy to do can weather a storm like flexible sprouts, and it can then grow deeper and stronger roots. The 3 approaches to making a behavior easier to do. 1. Increase your skills. When you are better at something, it becomes easier to do. Skills can be increased by doing research, asking friends for tips, or taking classes. Skilling up also includes doing things in a specific way, such as learning the correct form for push-ups, which can be done when you have the energy. 2. Get tools and resources. Some tools that can help make tiny habits easier to do include finding a coach to help you with the process, getting thinner floss, and purchasing special kitchen tools. 3. Make the behavior tiny. Making a small, incremental change towards a desired behavior is a good way to get started on developing a new habit. Starter steps can be as simple as putting on your walking shoes, turning on the stovetop burner, or boiling water for porridge. Repeating these small actions over time can help make the habit harder to ignore and easier to do. If you find yourself struggling to keep up with your starter step, don't try to make the behavior bigger right away. Instead, focus on continuing to do the starter step and building on it. Step 5. Find a good prompt. Prompts are the invisible drivers of our lives. Well-timed prompts help people remember to do the things they want to do. People respond reliably to prompts when they are motivated and able. When people are motivated and able, they are more likely to act on a prompt. Step 6. Celebrate successes. Positive experiences reinforce positive behaviors. For example, the parents clap and cheer for their babies when they walk. This helps the babies learn quickly. When the babies start to walk on their own, the parents congratulate them and give them treats. This also reinforces the walking behavior. When you celebrate something good that you have done, it helps to reinforce the good behavior. This can help to make good behavior more automatic. There is a direct connection between what you feel when you do behavior and the likelihood that you will repeat the behavior in the future. Emotions create habits. Not repetition. Not frequency. Not fairy dust. Emotions. When you are designing for habit formation, for yourself or someone else, you are really designing for emotions. Stop bad habits. The first step in stopping a habit is recognizing that you have a habit to stop. Next, you identify the specific behavior you want to stop. Finally, you need the motivation, ability, and prompt to stop the behavior. End of the summary. Thanks for listening.